Where were you when you heard about the assassination attempt of former President Trump? 800-682-1075. We'd like to hear from you. It's one of those moments where, one of those big moments where you know exactly what you're doing when you heard the news. Mm-hmm. Let's go to AML Chris. Chris, where were you?
I was cooking stewed taters in the kitchen. Boy, I was mad.
Stewed taters.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you it came over your phone?
No, I had the TV on, and just so happens to be on the news station, and then it just, like, one of them special reports,
Yeah, the breaking news. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, about spilled potatoes on my toes and ran in there. Then I was mad, ready to fight. Don't know who I was fighting.
Just angry.
Yeah.
Well, I hope your stewed taters turned out all right.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. All right, thank you, Chris.
Sounds good. I'd eat it.
AML Jose. Jose, where were you when you found out?
Hey, you got to me too early. I'm trying to shave. I just got home for work, and I was in my room changing my clothes, and I was like, I think the Trump rally's today, and I was looked it up on YouTube, or no, the Facebook page, his Facebook page, Donald Trump, and next thing I know, like, he's ducking down. I'm like, I'm a conspiracy theory kind of. So I was like, oh my gosh, they got him. I knew they were trying to get him, and this is how they're getting him. So I went to conclusions too much because I'm a Trump fan.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But it was crazy. I never seen anything like that before in my life.
No, none of us have, really.
That's where I was.
All right, thank you, Jose.
Well, we've seen the some of the videos from Ronald Reagan, though. I mean, not live, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Well, whatever it was, but
I mean, they
we've
were live.
seen them.
Yeah, we've seen them, and that to me.
Do they have one of John F. Kennedy?
Yeah, they have the photos. I mean, the icon
and video.
Yeah. I hate to say. I mean, we hate to say the iconic photos, but where Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis is sitting on the back of that vehicle,
right?
And she has her husband John F. Kennedy's head in her lap.
Right.
I mean, that is the photo that you think of when you hear that he was assassinated, and that is one of the things, we've said from the very beginning that this is a very difficult topic in this day and time to talk about because it is so polarizing. And then if you say one thing, they're like, oh, you're this way. And if you say something else, they're like, no, you're this way. And it's not. This is about the fact that a former president had an assassination attempt. This is a very big event.
Yeah, and not only that, that's big enough.
Yes.
And then the leading candidate for his party.
Mm-hmm. That too.
Yeah, so
that too just happens to be.
He could be the next president. So it's
very
like both.
polarizing. You're right, Katie.
It is.
You have
It's
to take
difficult.
a step back from it. I've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm independent. You lean one way, Jared.
Let's stop.
Yeah.
All right, 800
Don't make this
Don't
go.
do this to him today.
Don't make this go.
Don't denounce your boy today.
I'm not.
You are.
No, I'm not.
I watched your social media over the weekend. You're not independent.
Yeah,
you
we
can't
all
claim
saw.
this anymore.
No, not
What?
anymore.
Just because I posted the iconic photo, I think it's a terrible thing for the country. I'm glad it came
Posting
through.
and making it your profile picture, different
Are two
levels
very
of
different
independency.
things.
It's a temporary one.
Oh.
Which, fine, you are totally entitled to do
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Just don't be coming on the airwaves
sure.
talking about how I'm Mr. Independent.
The least independent
I
person.
did say, one of my things I did say, here's the craziest part of the whole thing. I saw that photo on the news for the first time. I'm like, my gosh, who took that? I took a photo of it on my phone, and then within minutes, it went everywhere.
was
The
everywhere.
first one says, God bless America. I was like, I put God in there. See everyone?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
He's changing before our very
No,
eyes.
I don't know what that exactly means, but yeah.
800-682-1075. Where were you when you found out of the attempted assassination of former President Trump? Squid.
I was in my kitchen drinking a beer with my friends, and we were like out on Twitter. I'm like, is this for real? Like
Yeah.
seeing it
Yeah.
trend, I'm like, there's no way this is real. And I was like, maybe like first I was heard maybe it was he was hit with something, but
Yeah.
not actually shot at.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started seeing the pictures. I'm like, oh my gosh, he actually. I mean, I guess
Like, this is
technically got
happening.
shot.
Yeah,
he
he got
grace
shot.
in the ear.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was insane. But the picture is hard. That picture is such a hard picture.
Oh, yeah.
So hard.
Yeah.
Trump got that dog in him. You can't deny it. Be like, he could have ran away scared, but this man came back up and put his fist up.
I would have.
I would have
I would have
I would have
immediately
peed in my
retreated.
pants and ran away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have been. I'd still be on the ground right
I
now.
would be.
I would not. I would be staying there until the Secret Service
You
to get
absolutely would
and
not,
I would
Jason.
put my hand. Yes, I would.
No, you wouldn't. You would. You would immediately cower down to the ground and then start shaking violently, and then get really mad at whoever didn't jump on your body to protect
Maybe,
you.
I don't know.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Because this has been confusing me from the start. Why did he come out of his shoes? did he come out? Did
Well, he
President
got
Trump?
tackled.
Oh, he
Well,
got
I mean,
tackled,
well,
and then
he went to the ground and then got tackled.
and then so his shoes came off his
Well,
body.
at least one shoe did.
Okay, because we hear the audio of Trump saying, "Let me get my shoes first. Let me get my shoes." He says it a couple times,
Right.
And it's one of those things also where you hear people get struck by lightning, and the first thing that happens is their shoes blow
Or
off
they
their
get hit
feet.
by a car, their shoes come
Yeah.
out. They come out of their shoes.
Are y'all not tying your shoes
I
tight
don't know.
enough? Like, what's happening?
There's certain things that
Are
blast
they
your
like
shoes off.
loafers or something?
I don't
Oh,
know.
probably dress shoes, yeah.
I have no idea, but I heard that and I thought, what? How did that happen?
I know. Yeah, it was an interesting thing. We got a text from Katie, and I wasn't sure what was going on. And then I walked into, it was just like some people were like, Trump got shot, and our group texts are like, what? And I was meeting Ava and her friend, and I had Ezra at Stoke Ridge for dinner, and I'm getting all this information, and of course they have sports on or whatever, and I said to the waitress, "Hey, can you turn on the news?"
Yeah,
And
there's
she's like,
something.
she was like, "What?" I said, "I believe the former president was just shot," and she turned it on. The restaurant, dead quiet. Everyone stopped eating, turned around, and was watching this one TV. It was like the most surreal moment.
Yeah.
And one thing that I thought was interesting is Ava was having dinner with one of her friends and their grandma, and her grandma was like so upset, and she says, "I'm a lifelong Democrat. I'm sick to my stomach."
But also, yes, for sure. And then feeling that way because this is such a huge event, but also she probably, if it's her grandmother, has lived through other events like this.
Yeah, Kennedy for sure.
Yes, and thought, not again.
Right,
Not
absolutely.
again.
That's why I responded back with, "Did Trump get shot?" Like
Yeah.
it didn't. I didn't. It was like no, because somebody said that. Somebody initially, I was cooking and grilling or something, and somebody said it, and I didn't believe it. I just said, "From where? What source?" And I was like, "No, I would have." And then it came out. I was like, I couldn't believe it was surreal.
Yeah.
It didn't seem real at all.
We were at my children and I met a bunch of our friends. We went to Lake Norman, and we had been on the lake all day, and we were hanging out on the dock later on in the afternoon. And at that point, some people had gone up to the house and were working on dinner and drinks and whatever. And somebody came down the dock and said, "Trump was just shot." And we all kind of were like, "What?
Yeah, like,
Like,
huh?
We're not. What do we do? What?"
It's
You
surreal.
know? And so it was totally surreal. And so then immediately we're looking on our phones trying to find it. And it was, just breaking that it wasn't even being reported yet on any of the sites. And we were like, no,
Yeah.
that's not true. And then
Right.
sure enough, it was such a surreal thing.
And
It
in some
really
news
was.
agencies, because they didn't know, it's like, oh, Trump fell down.
Right.
People didn't know
They
what was
didn't
going on. They
know.
didn't know.
Were you on the
Loud
lake on the
sounds.
boat? On the boat?
We were not on the boat at the moment, but
Oh,
we
you
were. We
okay.
had been, yeah. But
Yeah.
we were all just hanging out, and the kids were jumping off the dock and swimming, and it was just like such a fun
Yeah.
atmosphere. And then you hear that, and it just jolts you into
This is crazy.
Yeah. What about you, Matt? Were you
I had just ordered yellowfin tuna steak at Provision Company at Holden Beach.
wow?
Wow.
Look
Yep.
at that.
Fancy,
Yep.
fancy.
Saw the text from y'all and put my phone down. I was like, I'll vet this later.
You
I
never
was
know
like,
with us.
there's
You
with
felt
I'm
y'all,
not gonna
there's-
mess up my meal right now.
there's too much speculation. I'll wait until there's some more facts out about this thing.
Yeah.
Because I did a quick Google search and nobody had anything on
Right.
it. I'm like, all right, so somebody will get some more information later.
Yeah, that's why
And I'll
I-
check it out
When
later.
I went to Stoke, I was like, "You turn the TV on,"
Yeah.
because at that point I couldn't get any real information.
And
See, the restaurant
we-
I was at kept sports on the TV.
Oh, they didn't turn it.
Mm-mm.
Interesting.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know that anybody necessarily asked them to, but then they just kept the golf or something was
Yeah.
on TV.
Well, and
Well, I specifically asked for it.
yeah. To be fair, we do know what we're talking about sometimes, but
Oh, yeah.
in I would have waited probably.
Yeah, I was like,
too.
you know what? I'll figure this out later.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
catch
I'm
up.
going to enjoy my dinner.
Yes.
And then when I get back to the room later, I'll take a look.
Matt gets the least caught up in our group text than anybody.
Yeah, especially when I'm on vacation.
I know.
I
Yeah,
left
true.
it before on vacation.
Yeah.
I wish I could, but I can't.
Mm.
I
Sorry
wish I
the
could.
assassination attempt happened during your vacation.
But he didn't want
What
to
it
mess up
inconvenience.
that meal.
I paid attention to it when I had time.
No, I know.
3,000 text messages later.
I
Yeah.
wish I was more like Matt,
I wish I could be too. Yeah,
where I can just put it down.
I know.
Pretty great.
Yeah, I think so.
Pretty great. It's
You'll probably-
Pretty great.
You'll probably live
Pretty
longer. Let's go to Sean. Sean, where were you when you heard about the assassination attempt of former President Trump?
I was on the road. I was on my way to work, and the weird thing is, like, my phone just started lighting up, just because everybody has their own little notification when they text. So it was just like a little musical symphony. I was just like, what the hell is going on? 17 texts later, someone said, "Oh, Trump shot." Flash the news, and I'm just like, what? And I just slam on brakes. And believe it or not, it's like two other people. I guess they got the same news, Like we're in the middle of traffic and our cars are just like stuck there. I couldn't believe it. Like, I thought he had actually got shot. You know, I mean, yes, he did, but I thought,
well, he did,
fatally.
But fatally shot.
Yeah, like in the whole scenario, y'all. I was kind of like with the other caller with the conspiracy theory thing. Like, at what presidential event? I don't care, especially out in public. You don't know. People hold grudges nowadays. You just can't show up in their town and just think, oh yeah, I'm safe here. No, why? What? Like he said, see something, say something.
Right. Thank you, Sean.
Yeah.
Let's go to Alexis. Alexis, where were you when you heard the news about former President Trump being shot?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I was actually celebrating my wife's birthday. We were celebrating her 34th birthday and having a good time. And then all of a sudden, I was taking a drink and a beer, and I turned to the TV and I saw the breaking news. So I walked inside the patio that was outside, walked in the house that we were at, and started seeing it. And I was like, "Oh my God!" And as soon as I saw the video, I went to my phone, started looking back, seeing how it was occurring. And immediately, I'm former law enforcement officer. So immediately, I went to the thinking and looking at the images, how it was going, and I saw that it's the infamous Kennedy shot. That's what in law enforcement we call it. When you try to shoot somebody through the ear, it's the infamous Kennedy shot.
It's called. I'm sorry. What?
He got so lucky because it's the infamous Kennedy shot. What they call the Kennedy shot.
Oh,
the Kennedy
shot. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that particular way of shooting somebody is in law enforcement referred to the Kennedy shot.
Yeah.
So immediately, as soon as I looked at the video again and I rewound it, it was just that split second where, if you notice how he stands at his podium, he stands usually to the side a lot, and he turns his head, and the bullet grazed him. I mean, if it wasn't for that split second that he decided to, whatever act of God made him turn his head or sense that he was looking at something that caught his eye, or the billboard or something that he was reading off of, he decided to turn that something. That's the only thing that saved his life. Literally, it's the only thing that saved his life.
You're right. Thank you, Alexis.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely, because he's not like Trump's not backing down. He's doing another rally. I bet you they have, because they can't let this happen.
Well,
Well,
the convention's this week.
Yeah, the national convention kicks
Oh,
off.
they must.
Yeah, in Milwaukee.
They have to. They are probably panicking. Literally, like, we cannot let this, because if that happens again, another attempt of assassination, that it's going to be horrible.
Well, I believe. Oh goodness, and I had her name earlier, and I'm sorry that I don't right now. But the woman who is putting the Republican National Convention together has already started doing interviews where they're talking about how security amped up.
But isn't he doing a rally tonight or tomorrow?
Yeah,
That I don't
maybe.
know.
I don't know.
I know he's in Milwaukee for the convention. He
Okay.
won't speak till Thursday, but I don't know if he's going to be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
To me, if you're going to be the most dramatic, I wouldn't do anything till Thursday, and then you show up. You know what I mean? Like,
Just be afraid.
Yeah,
you know?
just like lay low, do your some press releases, and then the only time we see him is when he comes out to accept the nomination. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure.
But they did say indoor arenas are much easier to manage than any outdoors.
Sure.
But they've done great for the most part until this recent, which was catastrophic.
And that was my initial thought when I was like, when I first heard it, I'm like, is this a setup? Because there's no way that security would just overlook this.
Right.
And so I was like, that's why I was like, I'm just going to look at this later. Because
Yeah.
right now, this doesn't, I can't comprehend. It doesn't make sense.
It was a lot of information all at one time, and a lot of things that had not been verified yet because it was breaking news.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it does take a little while to get all of the information.
Yeah.
One thing that did happen the same afternoon, same evening of the attempted assassination was President Biden did make an announcement.
I have tried to get a hold of Donald. He's with his doctors. Apparently he's doing well. I plan on talking to them shortly, I hope, when I get back to the telephone. Look, there's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this. But the bottom line is, the Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it. everybody.
And then he did a speech from the Oval Office saying similar things. And then both parties are saying we need to be united. So we'll see how that goes. Real quick, Trump and Secret Service were caught on mic. And so there's a little more when all this was happening. You could hear more what they were saying back and forth to each other.
Take a look at what happened.
I got you, sir. Let me get my shoes, sir. Hold that in your head. It's bloody. So we got to move to the bus. Move to the bus. Let me get my shoes. Okay, my shoes down. Wait.
No, I know that there's a lot of speculation or a lot of people talking about the Secret Service and what went wrong, But when you see in that moment, the Secret Service surrounds a human being
to take bullets for him,
take bullets, and like you're forming a circle around another human being. You have no idea where that next shot is coming from.
You don't.
When you're standing there with your back to wherever to protect in, and you have taken that vow to take a bullet, it's that to me is
it's incredible.
My goodness!
Did you hear on the thing on their little walkie-talkie thing? They did say they knew right away that the shooter was down. Did you hear that?
Yeah, they did.
He said, "Shooter's down. Shooter's down. Can we move? Can we move?" So I guess they waited to move. Then they got confirmation that the shooter was down. Then they moved him.
But while they're there, they're in that protective.
Yeah, no, I get
and
it.
not only
thing,
that, they don't know if there's more shooters.
Right, you have no idea.
What about the military guys? And I think there's some military guys and police guys that came out on stage, and they were just on stage in pure sight. They had a gun, but they're just right there. They could have got shot too.
That they're behind you, they're above you, below you. Have no idea.
They just know the initial shooter was dead, but they had no idea there was going to be more. And so and when I did hear the interview with the Secret Service person, so interesting. It was last week I heard about it. Heard the lady talk about it. They said they're trained on like how to jump in front of bullets, how to protect the president, how to protect their family. But they're like how to literally put their lives on the line, how to use their bodies as human shields.
It's like you're not even thinking at that point.
Yeah.
You're just in that mode. That to me was a very profound moment.
And a little bit later on the show, we'll get into the shooter, and of course he's dead now. And they did find a van that they think was his that had explosives in it. So there's like more that's supposed to happen. We'll get into a little bit.
And he put a very weird TikTok on too.
I don't think that's real.
It's not?
I don't think it's real.
Was it the post that he made beforehand, or the
that
post
hates Republicans?
Oh no, I was not talking about that one.
I think it's not. I don't think that's real.
It's not.
I don't think it's real. It hasn't been verified anywhere.
How about we verify? We try to verify before we spread it.
Are you sure? Yep. I'm going to bring this to the radio show. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Landon.
There's a lot of stuff out there. That was shared a lot, but there's no one has verified that's actually him.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's not, but I've tried to find I haven't found once.
Okay.
They're like saying that he, oddly enough, had a very low social media presence.
Oh, I didn't see that one that you're talking about, Jason.
I think he sent it to the group.
So.
This one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like yeah. All right, so there'll be more as the show unfolds. Oh, did you have what President Trump did say?
Yes, I do. So President Trump did his very first, former President Trump did his very first interview since the assassination attempt, where he says, "I am not supposed to be here. I am supposed to be dead." And he does go on to talk about how he happened to be turning his head, which he just seldom does, because he's always kind of scanning the audience out in front of him. And he said, "I never break away. I never look, where I turn my head around. I just don't do that." But he happened to have a chart behind him. And so he was looking, and not only was he looking behind himself, but he was kind of at an angle to look up where the chart was. And it just so happened that moment exactly is when the bullet grazed his ear. But had he been looking straight on, it would be a very different story today.
Absolutely. That's...
Yeah. And then Trump went on in his very first interview since the assassination attempt, said that he is all right and that America goes on, we go forward, and we are strong.